Alright guys, Simon here and welcome back to Minecraft Design School. Today we have a survival mode cheat, TaroTheAvocado. Alright, so let's just see what it looks like. And he says, "Dear Simon, this is my single player world. It's all legit and my base is built in survival." That's cool. "I'm working on a big base, but I have run into..." I should probably turn to peaceful, hold on. So we don't get mobs halfway through. What does he say? "I'm working on a big base, but I have run into a problem. The problem is I don't know how to finish it." Alright, so yeah, I got desert. We got a few things back there. That's a farm, it looks like. So I think he means that's the big base there. I don't know how to. I have no idea how to complete this project. Well, I mean, he doesn't really tell me the plan or like what his ideas are, what he wants to do. The massive building in front of you, I have no idea how to add another floor. What do you mean? Okay. And or how to make a roof for it. I need help on what to do when you have no idea how to complete construction. It's basically going to be for mass storage, but I'm just in a slump. Feel free to look at any of other incomplete buildings on the map. Alright. So he doesn't know what to do, he's stuck. Well, you know, when you're stuck, the thing to do is just to take a break. Or, build something else and maybe go into Google and then look things up for ideas. Like, you don't force yourself to build when you have no ideas. And sometimes I'll stop playing Minecraft myself for a while, and then why do I do that? Because I have no ideas. And I know that if I don't have a good idea, and I just keep trying to do it, it won't work, right? If you don't have an idea. So, and I can't give you ideas. Research, just go into Minecraft and do things, or just kind of play other games and I don't know, watch movies, read comic books, whatever it is, just to get other ideas. That's usually the thing to do. So storage, roof, or reconsider your brief, reconsider your goal, like what you're trying to do in this build. You say it's a storage. Well, have you decided things like where you're gonna put the chest yet, or how you're gonna arrange the storage and the stuff like that? Have you thought about that? Maybe you should try solving that problem, and maybe that would give you some idea as to what to do next. Because I guess it's temporary, right? So this is the temporary stuff. So this is outside your building. And then you got all that stuff. That's pretty cool there. Cobble and cobble and cobble. And stuff and cobble and cobble. So plenty of cobble. That's cool. So where are you gonna put your chest? So let's think about that. That's interesting. So a fairly fancy staircase going from the ground up to the first floor. You put glass there, so I'm presuming you're not gonna put chests on the glass. Also, you put the staircase here, so I'm presuming you can't put a chest in the staircase. So it looks like you will have a circulation system in the middle of your building. It looks like that will be a path, and that will be a path, and then here that's a staircase, so that's also a kind of path. And haha, your staircase doesn't meet the you didn't leave enough room for your staircase. That's okay. I think you can just oh, even that's a little bit odd, isn't it? Okay, you can probably just... Oops, that's the outside of your building. Yeah, you didn't leave enough room for your staircase, man. I guess if you put slabs here, then you can get a staircase out and turn around a little bit. Is it the same the other side? I think it is. Yeah, let's just check the other side. Yeah, it's the same the other side. You didn't leave enough room for your staircase. Okay. So up here, look, you've put this pattern in, this square pattern in, but how are you gonna put your chest, right? If we go back and assume that there's gonna be like a path in a cross shape in the middle, which looks like what you're gonna do there, then you're gonna have chests in the corners, maybe, like I set a chest in the corner there, I set there, I set there, and I set there. And I don't know, you say you want to add another level. So presuming that you're gonna have circulation in the cross space there, and you've already put a cross, and put a staircase this way, would you then put a staircase this way, or would you come back and do the same thing with... So you don't want to put a staircase here because there's glass here. Unless you change stuff, you can always just kind of change this. But if you've got glass here, you don't want to put a staircase on top of it, then you can't see through anymore. So then, would the staircase again be a cross shape there? So we're thinking about circulation. I don't know if you've ever thought about this sort of thing, and I don't know if this is a good idea for me to do this without any sort of clues or any sort of without laying stuff out for you guys to see. So if it's a storage building, then think about where you're gonna put your stuff. And wait, that's sandstone. That's sand. That's good. All right. How much sand do you have? Sand, sand, sand. All right. Oh, you have plenty of sand. Look at that. All right. So, I mean, if this is... Oh, wow. Wait, it goes down? It goes down. Do you want it to go down or do you want to go up? Hold on. Missing building in front of you. I have no idea how to add another floor or how to make it a roof for it. Oh, wait. Do you mean a floor down here? And then a roof up there? Or do you mean a floor up there and then okay. Well, I mean, if you're going down, then you have a similar okay. I mean, the idea is similar. You figure out what you want the circulation to be, and then you put the stuff in. Like this here, it kind of blocks. I mean, that little ledge there, I guess it suggests you're not supposed to walk through, but then you can. So if you're not supposed to walk through, then you rely on this bit to get to the other side. And yeah, and so really what it looks like is you've put your circulation in a cross shape. So the circulation will be like... So the stuff inside the two bits of sand will be your path, alright? So then it looks like your chests will have to go in there and in there, and the same with the other side. And then maybe you can put the staircase here, so you can probably remove a bit of this. If you're going down, remove a bit of this, and then staircase down here as well, and just copy the staircase one level down and then make the next level. That would seem like the easiest thing to do. I don't know if easy is what you want to do, but because you can just kind of stack the staircases and then put a floor there at the bottom of each staircase and just kind of copy it all the way down, and that makes things easy. You're just gonna copy it, right? That seems to me like the most obvious idea. You don't have to do the obvious thing, but then you make things complicated for yourself if you make it different every single floor, right? If you make it like a different place for the staircase every floor, then it's just kind of unnecessarily complicated, it seems like. Anyway, roof. I don't really know what you want to do with the roof. You got that, okay. Would you want columns? Would you want like columns holding up? Like, what is this space? I thought this was meant to be storage as well, but it doesn't look like storage space because you've got this pattern on the floor, which doesn't align with any sort of storage pattern. It seems like you want to go down for the storage, and so up here, I mean, would you put in some columns to hold up the roof? I mean, if you imagine maybe like there, and then like there. But then the columns, see, you've got a rectangular pattern on the floor, and if you put columns there, so maybe you want the columns to line up with the floor pattern, or you might want to rearrange the floor pattern to line up with your columns. Oh, by the way, if you do the staircase thing in the middle, remember that your staircases don't actually reach the... Actually no, the next floor can be lower than this. If you make the next floor one block lower than this, then you don't have the problem. You didn't leave enough space for your staircase. Anyway. Well, it's a common mistake. I'm not saying, it's a common mistake, but it's also one thing that I've talked about a lot, and then if you were paying attention you wouldn't have done that. I don't know. Anyway. I think, yeah, some columns might be nice, just to divide the space a little bit, because you have one giant room, and I don't think you have any ideas what to do with it. I mean, based on your rather short, message, you're kind of stumped for ideas. And the thing is, like when you have these curved arches things, they have to lean on something. So I think like a columns, maybe columns lining up with these things, but again, they won't line up with the. Or do they? Yeah, no, they don't. See, like your things don't line up with the patterns on the ground. So that one lines with that. That doesn't. That doesn't. And that doesn't really line up with anything. So you've got like two different patterns, which is a little bit awkward. Because ideally, what you want is to have all your patterns line up. Like your floor patterns line up with the roof patterns, line up with the structural pattern and the, you know, in between them, and then everything looks like it all fits together, right? If they all line up. So I don't know, maybe reconsider the pattern on the ground, or maybe we can reconsider that. And then once you've decided which one your pattern is, then maybe you can, you know, line this stuff up. So we'll put the column there, line it up with those things, the half arch things, and then put some beams in, and then keep building up. So imagine, you know, you kind of come across beams, and you have columns holding this up, and then you go up a bit more, and then put more roof in. That's what I would do, given that I've only been talking about it for a few minutes, so I haven't had much time to think about it. But that's what I would do. Also, you really should decide what goes into this space as well. Like, what do you want to be up here? Yeah, you have to decide that. I can't really tell you what to do there, I don't think. Yeah? Does that seem good to you? Does that seem like a good idea to you? Yeah, leave more comments if you don't think that's a good idea, or if it doesn't work out. I think that'll work out, like chests in here, staircase down there, and then the same thing as far down as you need. It would just be kind of chests and then staircase, and chests and staircase, right? That seems pretty good. You have to leave room here though, so maybe like if I just extend the sand here, so because you have to access the staircase, you kind of have to walk. Well, when that's kind of in the way, so maybe you want to put. See, it leaves less and less room for your chests. Now, if we kind of just keep, you know, allocating more space to the circulation. So if you do that, then you've got a path down here. You can go access the staircase here, and you have that room for the chests. But just consider how much space you're using up for the circulation, and this is it's not the best circulation plan in the world, but you know, like half your floor space is dedicated to circulation. They're more than half actually. I think about 2/3 of your floor space is dedicated to circulation, and so very little of it's actually useful space. Does that make sense? You know, very little space is actually places where you can put your chests. So it's not the most efficient circulation scheme in the world, and part of that is because like you've duplicated the staircase. Like you have two staircases going up when you only need one, and so then that already, you know, takes up all that room where you can put more chests. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, you have to decide, you know, what you want your balance to be. Whether you want more, you know, a more decorative building, which then has a more dramatic circulation, or you want a more utilitarian building where it's, you know, less impressive, but you can fit more useful stuff in it, like fit more chests in it. So it's up to you to decide which type of building you want to build, right? So I'm not saying one is always good and one is always bad. And given the arches and the pattern and all that, I'm thinking this is more decorative. It doesn't have to be all that utilitarian. Although you do want to use it as a storage. Are these things walking out of your fences? I think they are. They haven't fixed the fence glitch yet. They still walk out of your enclosures quite easily. Anyway, so this is your temporary farm, I guess. I hope that's useful. I hope that's useful. I feel like I went through that really quickly. I don't know if maybe you might have to watch it again just to make sure you don't miss anything. Yeah, I feel like I went through that really quickly. But that's what I would do. You don't have to do that. Like, you know, with the ceiling or with the roof, and with the floors. That seems like the most logical thing to me, as I said, given that I've only been looking at it for a few minutes. And if if you have come up with some other ideas and you want to change it up a bit, that's great. Feel free to modify things. I mean, I'm just giving ideas. It's always the case that I'm only giving ideas. Don't feel like you have to do what I say. So what is this? This looks like a sugarcane farm. This is very, very similar to your storage building. Like the centralized rectangle, circulation in the middle, the rectangle, the columns. You might wanna just... Oh, this is a storage, I see. So we have variations on a theme for storage buildings. That's cool, that's cool. It's good that you do this too, because it's a little bit like you're building the same thing over and over again, but every time you build it, you try something different and you learn something new. So there's nothing wrong with seeming to do the same thing over and over again, which is kind of what you're doing, like the glass and the columns and all that. But every time you do it, you learn something new, so that's fine. Well, just make sure you are learning something new every time you do it. What other things do you have? I don't see very much else. Let's go game mode 1, cheating time. Oh look, there's like a forest back here. What's in the forest? I don't think you have any builds in the forest. Cheat mode, war hacks. Oh no, there's like a thing down there. There's a abandoned mine shaft. They really need to fix this. This stuff, the chunk loading thing. This is a complete war hacks. Look at this. Oh look, there's a crevice or a ravine or what do you call that thing? Alright, so let's see what's back here. There's more farm things. Pyramids. Not really all that much else. I seem to remember the trees being a little more yellow in the past. That's kind of bad actually. Like the color of this. I thought it was more yellow and more orange. Maybe I should change my texture pack. Alright. I guess that's pretty much it. Is there anything else I should say? Yes and no? Probably not. I mean, you've got all these tree things. I'm not sure what they're meant to do. But just keep in mind that what you've done really is you've obscured your storage buildings. You can't see the storage building. And you've made it look quite interesting too, like the outside of it. But then from here, like it's blocked by the trees. If it's on purpose, and if you think that's a good idea, that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. Just consider what it means for your build when you put all the trees in the way. Yeah, I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to say. Hope that's useful, and yeah, and feel free to comment if you want to ask anything more. Alright, I'll stop there. It's pretty good, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, like like columns, and then beams, and then more glass ceilings. This is SCKChui's Minecraft Design School. You send me your questions and your save file or your server IP address, and I will give you architecture design advice and feedback. See the video description for more details. Seriously, you should read the description before you send me anything. Thank you.